Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once more to yet another session on financial literacy with BTB and KBA. Thank you so much for joining in. Today we are on module 3. This is building a legacy, future-proofing your business for generations. Karibuni sana. We are glad to have all of you. As always, let us know what has stood out for you so far. We had our first module on mastering financial literacy for business growth, and the second module on work-life harmony, the entrepreneur's guide to sustainable success. So, we covered what elements you need to look out for in your business and then how to take care of yourself. And today now we are building a legacy. So module 3 will be on future-proofing your business for generations. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And as always, we're always glad to understand what stood out for you, areas you're looking forward to even in the module today. So karibuni sana. We see you all joining. Thank you as always for your commitment to taking your businesses to the next level. Karibuni sana. Good morning, Roberto. Good morning now. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's session. So like I mentioned, it is module 3, building a legacy, future-proofing your business for generations. And here we'll be looking at structuring your business for long-term sustainability and legacy building, leadership development, preparing for smooth leadership transitions, and legal and financial considerations. So it doesn't matter the size of your business, succession should always be something you consider and plan for. So today, that's what we're going to be covering. We're seeing Mark from Kilifi. Karibuni sana. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so now allow me to introduce our trainer for today. Our trainer is Lilian Ogada. She is a seasoned business professional with over 25 years experience in customer service, branch operations, compliance, and process improvement. She has a proven ability to lead high-performing teams, drive systems efficiency, and uphold service excellence across diverse banking environments. She also has a solid foundation in operational risk management, workflow optimization, and strategic execution, matched with a passion for empowering SMEs like yourselves and streamlining enterprise operations for scalable growth. So she has very many notable achievements, and I think from the training you'll get to attest to this yourselves. So welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen. And I think at this point, so that we just spend more time on the training, I'd like to welcome Lilian. Karibu sana, Lilian.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. So, as she has explained, I am a business lady, I have an operations background, and I'm happy to enjoy this training with you. So today, we are interested in building beyond today as a business lady. The season is about long-term thinking, creating systems in our businesses, and preparing our business to thrive beyond us for the next generation and so forth. So, karibuni sana, let us get into it. Thank you.
Lilian, I think your sound is muted. Okay. Let me think. Let me also repeat All right, I think Lillian is setting up. So even as we wait for her to come back on, we'd love to know. Last time we had a session on work-life harmony, and touching on productivity hacks and time management hacks, talked about rhythms, and building that into your systems and your businesses. And we'd love to hear from you, whether you'd want to unmute or write in the chat. Any new rhythms you have put in place when it comes to your business and your structure. And you feel free also to raise your hand. I think I can see one hand. This is Suhaib. Suhaib, let me unmute you as Lillian is setting up. Suhaib, you can go. Okay, that's fine. Rose, let me allow Rose, and then we'll come back, Lillian. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we can proceed, Lillian.
Yes, we can. So we are structuring our legacy and we are structuring our businesses for legacy and sustainability. So this session we are supposed to understand how to build business that is sustainable, scalable, and transferable. These objectives will guide us through strategy, leadership, legal, and financial foundation. So let us look at our key objectives. When we understand the key elements that support business sustainability, we also need to design the structures that are lasting, that outlast the founder that we are talking about. Explore leadership, development, and succession strategies. We also need to identify legal, financial tools that support continuity. So basically what here is there's leadership in everything. So as a business leader, you must own this business. There's no way the business will succeed without you, and there's no way the business will succeed without being hands-on. Because when you're hands-on and your structures are right, then we are in business. So let's give it a moment. Let's give it a moment and imagine that we stepped away from our business, our current business today. We stepped away from them for 90 days. This should be the icebreaker. What would happen? Can we ask ourselves, and maybe share in the chat from where you're sitting? If you left your business for 90 days, would it continue? Are the systems in place that the business would be able to operate? Let us share, maybe on the chats. Anybody?
Yeah, we have some answers coming in. A lot of guys say it will crumble. Ruth is telling us it will crumble by day 3. Sabi says it would continue as we have system that is duplicable.
That is good.
Yeah, but we have quite a number who say that they will collapse. Yeah. 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 And some, Jasmine is telling us it would definitely face hardship, maybe not fully collapse, but there will be severe problems. Yeah, so I think that's the trend. Yeah.
That's the trend. That's for all of us. We've also been there. I'm also there at times. So therefore, we must be intentional as business people to ensure that our structures are in place. So that's why we are supposed to have good governance. Let me move to the next slide so that we're all in the same page. When we are structuring our businesses, like I've said, as the leaders and as we put the systems in place, when everything is right, then we'll have growth and we have sustainability. Talking about growth, how do we grow as a business? Is it only Lillian? I'll use myself as an example. Is it only Lillian who is in control as the leader? And other people in the business, other team members, do they have the vision of this business? So that's where also as leaders, we should ensure that our teams have the same vision of the business. And that would impact on them to know that they are running towards a particular goal. Another thing, what is our why? Our why and our vision should go together. Because when we know this, these are some of the structures that guide us to know where we are getting to. As leaders also, we must learn to delegate. When we delegate, we are growing together with the whole team, because there's no way we will grow alone as a business leader when the rest of the team is not growing with you. So this will bring us down one way or the other, because we are not on the same wavelength. So we encourage team leaders to have forums, have systems that ensure that they are reading from the same script. So when we come to other structures that will guide us, there's governance. Governance, I've talked of what governs us, what are our values in this business, what drives us as a team. Then the systems in place. What documents do we have? Are they hard copies? Are they systems? Are they in order? How are they kept? So that in the event that somebody is not there, there's continuity. What are the roles for other team players? Are they in place so that the roles are defined? Everybody knows their job description, so that there is also no lapse. Is there harmony among the team members? Because you realize that when a team is divided, of course, they will not see towards the same goal. Fine, and then we have the finances and income. How do we manage our finances as a company? Do we have, are our team members paid well? Paid well, meaning are they paid according to the value they bring to the business? Are they paid because of the, are they paid also through, do we have like incentives that make them more agile to growth? Then also when we come to financials, even as a team, when we come to financials, even as the team, do they know their targets? Do they know their key KPIs that drive them? And do we have a system also that do we have a system that, like a balanced scorecard? Do you have a balanced scorecard in whatever small system you are in? How do you measure that people are working? How do you measure that this was done? Do you do returns? Do you have a way of rating the staff? Do you measure their performance? How do you measure their performance? So all that is key in survival and the growth of our business. And when you also come to survival and succession, what is the succession like? Would somebody walk out of the business, okay, one of the staff, and render the organization, then the organization cannot operate? Why? Are the rest of the team members trained? Are they trained? Do they have the technical know-how? Has the company invested, however small, in whatever kind of small scale business you're doing? Is there someone else who can sit in for someone and ensure that the business continues? Let's take an example of the bakery and the salon. What is the baker doing so that there is no vacuum in their business? When the baker is maybe absent for one reason or the other, do the other staff know the recipe? Are they trained to ensure that all the products they have, the different cakes, are ready for other customers? Are they managing their time well? In the salon, is it scaled up that when a stylist is not there, there's someone else who can do it? And apart from that, in a salon, is it only one service we are giving? Is it only plating? Is it only the spa? So have we diversified such that there's business continuity and there's also different flows of income? Because you realize, again, if I give an example of the bakery, if you're only doing queen cakes and somebody comes that they want a birthday cake or a wedding cake, will we lose that sale because we did not have somebody who is able to do this? So we are supposed to diversify our products. Same to the salon. Do we have somebody else doing pedicure? Is it a one-stop shop, especially for this kind of service, such that we do not lose clients in the name of there was no person who was doing this? So as a team, from where we sit, can we sketch our business structures? What's missing that would make us suffer in these lines? Is everything in place such that when somebody is not there, everything continues? Somebody may be a staff, the owner of the business, a challenge that even comes. What structures have we put in place so that there's no vacuum? There's no vacuum. I encourage you guys to, maybe if there's a question, you can raise your hand or you can put it on the chat. We can look at it. Is it hanging again? So basically, succession planning starts today. We do not wait for retirement, or we do not wait for that time when there's that challenge. Is when we there we go. So just like I mentioned, we need leadership all the way, from the leader to the staff we have. So how do we develop our leaders? So breaking founder dependency. How do we break founder dependency? By growing other leaders, by delegating work, by working as teams. Have a system where you have trained people moving from one department to the other. For example, if it's a big organization, but even if it's not a big organization, 2 or 3 people should be able to know what happens in another department, such that there's no vacuum. And like I also said, we should also involve other team members in decision making. When we involve our members in decision making, they feel part and parcel of the organization. So they yearn to be heard. And this also helps us in growing leaders, because if you know somebody will listen to you, that's one thing. Apart from listening, they will give you, okay, they'll listen to you, use whatever you've suggested. Because as leaders also, as we listen to them, they may not always be right, but when you listen, give them a chance, they will feel part and parcel of what is happening in the organization. And that motivates them to work harder, to be more team players. And at the end of the day, the organization will be growing. So leadership is key. And leadership is not an individual. Everybody is a leader. When you make them feel that they are heard, they will also be eager to work towards growing this organization. Spotting and growing internal leaders. As I've mentioned, you mentor them. How do you mentor them? Take them for training, have team building organizations, or just even within the office. Have tea with them, maybe a Friday, listen to the staff. Give them incentives. If you achieve this, if you do this, especially people in sales, you give them targets. If you get this, you'll get this, however small it is. This will encourage them to work because what do they know? They know that somebody is seeing them. There's something for them. Much as it's for the business, but there's something for them. And this also helps them, give them a positive attitude towards the whole organization. Creating a culture of leadership. How do we create a culture of leadership? All our business should have our values. They should know this business stands for this. When our values are clear, for example, in Dolian, our values are high integrity, excellence, competency, and consistency. So if all these values are followed, it will also guide us in this business, because there will be integrity. That means we will not have people who are bringing us down by either faults, or if it's a place where people can steal, or even stealing time it's theft. So do they have high integrity amongst themselves? Are they disciplined people? So when we nurture this by always reminding them, maybe in having meetings, so that they know that this is what is expected of us. This is also for our own good. I'm growing this business. Okay, I'm employed today in Dolian, but tomorrow I'll be able to stand on my own wherever I am. So what am I doing to get there? Because at the end of the day, it's not only Dolian you're working for, if I use Dolian as an example, but you're developing yourself as an individual. How will you get there? So are the staff aligned to the purpose of this organization? With all these things in place, that culture of leadership will be there. It will be built. It will just come automatically. Although some pushing sometimes needs to be done because people are all different, but you must find a way of maybe giving tough love, because yes, there's the discipline. You have to have your measures of HR such that if this is not done, maybe this the expectations. For example, maybe lateness. If you have a perpetual late comer, how do you handle lateness? Or if you have a perpetual staff who is always sick, how do you handle such? So that it doesn't interfere with their work. You still appreciate them, understand them when they're there. So as a leader also, you should also make as the team leader or the leaders, you should find a way of, you don't talk at them, you find a way of listening to their issues. If it's, like I said, maybe a perpetual latecomer, maybe a drunkard, these drunkards could be even the best workers. So how do you get to them so that they don't feel like you're looking at them or pointing at their issue, but you want to understand where is this challenge that is making you not perform as you're supposed to be. Make them understand that we are in this together. Make them understand that when this organization is thriving, it's for all of us. This growth is even for you as an individual. Tomorrow you'll not be here, but you'll be doing yours. So how can you better yourself? Encourage some who also want to be, who maybe they want to go back to school. Give them time. At a particular time, let them go back to school. Even if it's an hour in the evening. Just make them feel cared for. Because at the end of the day also, we are human beings. We are beings, we are relational beings. So it's the way we culture them, the way we make them feel, it's going to go a long way to helping them give our businesses the best. Then we come to building a succession pipeline. How do we build a succession pipeline? Back to leadership. Are our processes in place such that when one of the people I have said is being trained for the next role, is there a gap? How are we building the pipeline, the succession pipeline? Is it one person who is holding the organization at ransom that if they're not there, things are not working? So the job rotation must be done right. The training must be right. If the company can afford, you can also bring new blood. When you bring, you scale up. You scale up to the next level. Establish partnerships. Find partnerships that sometimes you can also learn from others. Even when you're getting partnership, people who are doing the same role, maybe if there's a way you can get them for training, they train your people. Or if you can afford to have them in your organization, why not? That means you are working and growing at the same time. Then we go to who can take over today? Who can take over today or grow it? So at any one time, what I think we are talking about all the time is there should be no vacuum. There should be no vacuum in the sense that today the company is not growing because somebody is not there. Somebody's sick. Things happen. So somebody could fall sick. Somebody could move to another organization. They can get better remuneration elsewhere, growth. You can lose a member of staff. And what happens? So we as leaders must be prepared. We must always be prepared. And that will be growth. Because when all these things are not taken into consideration, there'll be stagnation. So we should have our meetings, know our people, grow them, appreciate them, have systems that make us accountable. Yeah, we also talked about business continuity, BCP, business continuity, such that the business is seamless. There is no time that we say this cannot happen because of this. Are our documents in order? Are we audited? All our things should be above board. We should be very disciplined in the way we are handling our businesses, however small, that there is no vacuum. Learn from others too. Learn from other people doing the same thing. How do you know what they're doing? So with all those, surely the business has to grow and the succession plan must be in place. So we come to succession in family-owned MSMEs. What happens? You take Lillian, I bring my son. How do we handle our challenges in this place? When Lillian when the son knows the business is Lillian's, there are times, not all, but sometimes they are not that disciplined. So how do we handle such conflicts? First of all, this son of Lillian may not even have the qualifications. So this is also a way we bring down our businesses. So it's not every time you have to bring your relative into the business. If they don't see that same goal I was talking about, if they're not together with us, I would discourage bringing relatives. Because after all, the business belongs to my mother, my auntie. So when we have those conflicts, interfere with the overall performance of the team. Other team members will realize that there are people who get away with murder. The likes of this young man, other staff will also not comply by the rules. So what are the governance structures in family businesses? I would encourage everybody to do just what is right. Have the papers, the documentation, if it's a family member, they should have their papers right. The expectations should be clear. There should be boundaries. We should introduce formal governance advisory boards or non-family members on the management. Use a family constitution to make expectations and succession protocols. Remember, being family does not guarantee leadership necessarily. You must qualify for that role. We must qualify for that role. Because we have seen companies that have come down because of because of wrangles within the family. Either some people didn't see eye to eye or they didn't agree on something, but sometimes they do not agree because the things are not, we did not structure it from the day one. We did not put things right. The shares, were they given appropriately? Or was somebody just expecting the same? So we have to be really careful. Are the documents also in order? The lapses, who checks on the family? So balancing family and professionalism sometimes is difficult. So from day one, when we are getting to this, we have to be very careful. We have to make things right as we start. Because most family, you've seen even in families, most of these big families, was it Nakumat or where? Not Nakumat. One of these tasks, there are people who have been in court because of shares and that kind of a thing. So we should be learning, even as we see the ones that are happening around us. What can we do better? What can we do better? This person who is here handling, do they have their documentation? Do they understand the goals of the company? Do we have other board members also who are not family, who balance it? I think that's about it on family. We come to legal and financial foundations for continuity. How do we choose the right legal structure? So for example, Dolian, I've been using Dolian as an example, that's my company. We have to define the vision and the growth. Do you want it to stay small or do you want to grow it? So what is a small company? So a small company may just be a sole proprietor. So as a small proprietor, how far do you want to go? When you want to put your things right, you will go and get a limited company. You can also bring in partners when your structures are right. And as you bring in partnership or other investors, your papers must be right. Everything must be right. Because it is through the right structure that the rest of the things will follow. And when we come to wills, why do we talk of wills? Wills are normally used, especially when we are not there. It's normally our voice. when we are gone, when the owner of the company is gone or whatever. So why the will? It's for the assets and the business, to make sure the assets and the business is safe. It prevents disputes and allows for allocation of business shares. Everything, if it is done right. Agreements. Who are the shareholders? How has it been done? Is it on pen and paper? Who is holding it? Was it just done at home? Is it kept in some custody? How are the things put to right? Trust. Trust also takes care of generational wealth. Are they in place? Sometimes it doesn't cost as much to look for even legal advice, because you'll only learn through others. We don't know everything, and we are also growing as a business. So can we borrow a leaf? Can we learn from other people? What is right? You just go to your banker, just come here. Talk to your banker, tell them I want this. How can I learn? How can the bank help me have this? And then we also have insurance. Insurance helps us for financial stability. One, as a business owner, there are times when business will be low. As family, even for the staff that we are keeping, how will we ensure that we are able to keep them? Maybe in the event that the business goes low, it is actually backup. For cash inflows, insurance also helps our businesses when, for instance, maybe there's a fire, God forbid, or things like that. So that the insurance will give us backup. They will keep us afloat. So there are things, however small, we, as business people and growing people, we learn to have. Just walk step by step. How do I achieve this? How do I get this? And it's beautiful. DTB is here to teach us and ensure they can direct us to who would give us the best insurance and that kind of a thing. Financial planning. All our businesses have been dreams. So for all of us, for us to accomplish this dream, there must have been plan. So financial planning is key. How do we manage our finances? We need to separate our bank accounts, maybe for Lillian and for Dolian. They are two different entities. Because when we mix all our money in one basket, maybe now you have a tragedy or you need money urgently, you go and scoop everything from the business. Excuse me. Tomorrow you're not ready to operate. So when we separate them, we know this is for business, this is personal. And then we also avoid mixing the cash. How do we even bank the money? Do we ensure all the credits are put this one, we can know this is for this? Or do we just mix? And even the withdrawals, do we have them recorded visually? Do they have them recorded so that we know this was what was withdrawn for this particular thing? No impulse mixing and just removing of money because, oh, the account is mine. So the cash flow also should be tracked. We should realize that, are we growing? Where are we in this business? Is it just money coming in and we are not seeing anything coming out? And if not, can we think twice? What can we do to get back on track? Because you may realize you're pouring money into a hole. You're getting losses throughout. So before we go down the drain, what can we do so that we are back or we do something else? And then we also build different streams of income. I talked of, when I was talking of the salon, I talked of the hair, I talked of the barber shop around there. So we can also get the parents, the dads who come to drop these children or the girls to have their hair done. They can also have their hair, the barber taking care of them. So we are having different streams of income. Okay, for this, for the bakery, apart from the cakes that are being done here, can they go an extra mile? Can they offer cakes maybe for birthdays. So it is important for us to diversify. I'll give myself an example. I'm in facilities management. And in facilities management, we have cleaning services and we have fumigation and we also have landscaping. So what I'm doing now, I'm also doing fumigation. The main thing is fumigation and cleaning. And passive income also I can do wellness. So at no point is there a vacuum that there is no money completely coming into Dolian Enterprises or to me as a business owner. So, yes. Then we go to, even when we're still talking about the planning, financial planning, budgets, do we budget? Do we know which money we are removing and why? Or we just remove the money because a need has come? Have we budgeted that we know this takes care of this takes care of this, so that we are not caught off guard, that something is really not there, something is missing in the business? So budgeting is key. Budgeting is key in the business. That's when we will know, did we achieve or we did not achieve? Because as I was saying, if we do not budget, then we will just keep removing money, or we will not track, are we making or not making? Checklist, agreements, and insurance, those are guidelines just to keep us on check and ensure that our business is safe. Agreements, have we kept them? The insurance, have they been renewed? At what point are they being renewed? Are we getting better policies? The insurance funds to protect the business, remove us from debt. So what have we been talking about? We have been talking about how to sustain our businesses. So basically our action plan is how to ensure the sustainability is kept, how to ensure leadership. We sang about leadership, because without leadership, we are not going anywhere. And the legal and financial steps, are they kept? And the legacy dream. So what steps will you take as a business owner towards restructuring your sustainability, your leadership? The ball goes back to all of us. What are we doing as ourselves to ensure that we are able to grow and sustain our business? Okay, team. I would encourage you guys to maybe write your questions. Write your questions so that we share together.
Yeah, we have quite a number of questions.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Lillian. Would you want me to proceed and
Yes,
read?
yes, kindly pick it
Okay.
up. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right, thank you so much. So before I even begin covering the questions, we have an anonymous attendee who's given us eight tips they have learned from running their business for over 15 years. And I'd encourage participants to just go into the Q&A tab to just have a look at the really good insights, building up on what Lillian has shared. And for the person who's shared this, if you're also able to unmute, we would love to hear from you because these are very good insights. So let me begin with, again, an anonymous attendee who says, how do you get people or employees who believe in your business to join the team? Often many job seekers are just in it for the money. During the interviews, they promise you heaven, but they don't deliver and need to be micromanaged. It's also draining to keep hiring and not getting the right people, despite so many people being jobless. So even as we're touching on continuity, how do you choose the right people from the start? And let me join it with Joseph's question because it's also a continuation of that. So you've gotten the right people, but then Joseph says, sometimes our trusted employees become our greatest competitors when we share our company's confidential data, and that's the reason for non-disclosure of all information. Sometimes we also feel as if we need to have hands on everything to ensure it's done to the right standards. To owners, it might be a matter of life and death, but to the employees, they may not worry as much, provided they get their pay. That's why we worry when we delegate critical responsibility. So we have how do you choose the right people? And then yes, you've gotten the right people. And yes, you're supposed to plan for your succession and equip them and give them leadership roles. But what happens when there's that risk of them being your greatest competitors? Yeah. Yeah, so Lillian, over to you. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is Frida.
Good morning, Frida.
I hope you can allow me to say hello for 2 minutes. I'm all the way in South Africa, thinking of you. Please show some love to our operations director. Did she do a fantastic job? Thank you so much, Lillian. Lillian is our operations director. She's a friend. She's also a founder of other businesses. She does, I don't know if she told you, so I won't repeat myself. I will allow her to tell you herself. She does run other businesses. She's really turning her passion into profit. And it has been an excellent joy working with her as she supports us in organizing our operations. And I was really excited that I'm not there today and she has been able to share with you. Thank you. I see the love you're showing her. Lillian, thank you very much for holding forth while I'm away. The Lord bless you. You can take it away. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, Frida. It's good to hear from you and to also see you. Yeah, so I think we can begin with those first two questions and then we can proceed from there. Yeah.
First question was on trust.
On choosing the right people, and then now once you've chosen, there's that risk of them becoming your greatest competitors and using the very tools you've equipped them with to build their own businesses. So how do you handle choosing the right people and then that trust issue? Yeah.
You're choosing the right people. I'll even give you an example of spouses. You can get a spouse who you think is very good and eventually they will disappoint you. So you can never be accurate on that. And it's all about integrity. If somebody decides they don't want to do what is right, there's nothing much you can do. So you can only choose the right people using what other qualifications you have on this. Because what you're doing, you can't see through someone. You can only use what they presented, and then when you work with them, so you give them that element of trust, give them the element of trust and doubt also. So we keep hoping that everything will be okay. But when they eventually do not meet, okay, maybe when they breach the contract, because there must be contracts and the rules of the game. So if they don't live by it, you only separate ways. Because you can't keep them if they're not performing, or you can't keep them if they're bringing you down. And if they decide to leave, you cannot stop them. So at that point in time, there's no white and black. There's no white and, we can't put it in white and black. There's no right or wrong answer that you must just do it this way. As an individual, you assess them. Are we on the same page? Are we going together? If they are not, I'm sure they will not just wake up one day. So you will, as you check them as they grow, you will realize that we are not on the same wavelength with this person. Let part ways early enough. But if it doesn't, if you cannot get them at that particular time, just part ways. But I cannot say that this is the way, or this is the avenue to follow to get the right or wrong person. No, people are different. People can also act for days. So be cautious, use your instinct, and I'm sure God will give you the right decision to make at that point in time. Thank you.
Thank you, Lillian. I think that was well covered. And then we have John asking, how do you identify successors for specialized roles? And what should you look out for in terms of qualifications? What are the things to look out for when it comes to now choosing your potential successors? And allow me to mention a comment by, I think, Emmanuel, who says, to be honest, my opinion is if your employees become your biggest competitors, it means that you train them so well. So go ahead and train the next generation. Yeah, so that was on the
Yes.
previous comment. So John is now asking, how do you identify the successors?
We have, okay. For example, maybe I give my banking background. When I was in the bank, maybe in operations, you can see a staff who is very good in a particular role. So you nurture them on that role, train them. They may be very good in operations or they're very good in credit. So can you train them so that they are ready to pick up the role? So when it comes to business now, it depends on the structures of your organization. Which are the structures? Which structures do you have? So among the structures, there's training. Because you will not just place someone because maybe you like them. They must be well trained. So how will you know that they need training on that line? There are people who they go out of their way. That is one. They show interest and they also show competence in that line. So that will guide you to get the right success line. I mean, to get the right person on that particular success, because you have trained them on the role. You see their attitude, the integrity part is there, they're ready to learn, and also listen. Listen to them. Somebody can give you an interest, can share with you. Let us make our staff also people who can talk to us. Let us not be so hard that they can't approach us and share with us what they have or what they want, or even an idea if they have. So with an open door policy, and if I may call it that, and structures in place, because you also have those job descriptions, you know that this one is good. This one is doing very well here. This one is doing very well here. You'll be able to tell who is right for which role. And you'll also notice when there is a gap, they afford to maybe poach their tender, their adverts. So at a particular law, you check, go to LinkedIn. It depends on what you want where. But that's one of the ways that you would use for what do you call it? For nurturing somebody to the next role. Thank you.
Thank you, Lillian. I think that was really well answered. I also see some participants who've raised their hands, so feel free also to raise your hands. We'll select a few of you to ask the questions, even as we continue reading the questions in the Q&A tab. And again, I'd encourage you all to put your questions at the Q&A tab at the bottom of your screen. That allows us to track and answer as many of them as possible. Right, so the next one we have also John now asking, citing examples such as the Akamba bus services, Windsor Golf Club, Tuskys, and Nakumat, is it safe to conclude that we should never have family members as successors? Yeah, so touching again back to family. Yeah.
We did not say we should never have, because ideally you also want to grow your family, but can we have structures? Maybe there were areas where there were lapses. The shares maybe were not divided correctly or something like that. So are the structures in place? Is everybody in the know such that some people should not feel left out? But like you said, there are people also who will just bring problems. So to avoid that, let us put our structures in order. Are the shares in order? Does everybody know what is where? so that some people don't feel left out. Some people don't feel like they have more than the rest. So even if it is the business owner doing this, what reasons does he have to give A, B, and C maybe less shares? Has somebody bought them? Because there are people also within the business, family business, who can afford to buy their own shares. So you may give them as the owner, apportioning them, but I could have more because I've also bought in. So we have not said do not do family business. We need to grow and leave generational wealth. But even with this, within this business, we must have structures that work. We must be on the same page so that if we have an ex who wants to like bring us problems or who wants to contradict the rest of the team, we share with him plainly, even if it's legally or what, even in our family meetings. Everything should be above board. So family businesses are encouraged, but with structures. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Lillian. Then we have Wycliffe touching on employees. I'm going to combine, I think, two questions. Wycliffe says, great content here. How would an employer create that conducive environment with its employees? And how do we break these bossy fears? And I think you had mentioned a bit on it, but maybe you can also just further dissect how practically business owners here can now create that conducive environment. And then two, we have another element. This is Sharon saying, how do you fire current employees who you trained and give them the skills and have company data and your business is at risk if you fire them? The transition and also hiring new employees, training them once more. So I think we've touched on this a bit, but yeah, how do you handle the firing process, the transition, and also now how do you create a conducive environment? Yeah.
Okay, I'll pick the first one. How do we create a conducive environment? When I talk of conducive environment, okay, let me bring back to Dolian now. This is the company I run. You are not, it doesn't mean that you are so free with them, no. You can create occasions where they can be there. You can be part of those meetings and let them talk if they can talk. How do you create a conducive environment? Listen to them. So listening also, maybe when you're having that team building, maybe when you're having the end year party, maybe when you're recognizing staff, then you encourage the rest so that they don't feel like they are not part of the organization. Listen to them, allow them even to send you emails, tell them, oh, you can send me email directly, okay, it's not a very big organization. Or you can give them a channel they use. If you're the manager, maybe let them talk to the operations manager, let somebody handle maybe sustainability within the branch. Maybe somebody's handling, let them have those welfares where they can, at least where they can be heard or where they feel, because you also can't force it, but give them an enabling environments where they can feel heard and listened to. For those who can get to your door, why not? Do not ask for maybe appointments and that kind of a thing. Let them feel part of the business. Let them just feel like, I'm heard. You know, the moment you feel heard, you relax. It happens. The moment you feel heard, you feel listened to, you relax. The firing process, this is normally tricky, but it gets to a point in time that you have to do it. I'm sure that most organizations have HR policies. We can also Google and find out what is right, because there are people also who you can fire and the next day you're in court. So just check. If you have not proved that they have already, okay, there are people who will leave, yes, but what was the contract saying? What were the terms? Because there are also terms and conditions. If they are still within the terms and conditions and you want to fire them, you have to be very careful. It doesn't cost you also to look for legal advice. Because all these cases are different. Where have they breached the contract that you want to part ways with them? Or could you let them end the contract? So every situation, if you ask me, is unique and it needs unique answers. So there's no white and black, you see, method that this is the way. No. It's not like that. You have to handle them each case by case basis. And even as a business person, borrow a leaf. Don't know it all. Ask other people who have been before you, if especially in your line, what are they doing? What is working for them? That will help you. That will help you a lot. And even legal advice. Because I have seen cases, even the other day, one of our former colleagues who left the bank, he was paid about 9 point something million, and that was a whole organization. So people have to be very careful, or organizations have to be very careful, because people are dealing with people, and people know their rights, and there's some rights you may not know. So just be open to asking, be open to learning. Yes.
Great. Thank you, Lillian. And I think this issue for your employees with creating competitive business on the side is still very big. I have Kathleen asking, how do you handle an employee you trained and worked with for 6 years who opened a similar business next to you and has direct contacts with your customers? I know I've seen Grace has responded in part to this, and Grace, you can also unmute, but she says, as far as employees are concerned, consider giving tasks, not conceptualization. That way they cannot become competitors. The conceptualization is your business secret that should stay with you and your chosen successor. So I think it's about the vision, but maybe also you can touch on this. I know we've covered how to handle firing, choosing, training, all of that. But now this person has already now gone and started that same. So maybe you're a saloon and they've opened up right next to you and they have contacts with your customers. Again, how do you deal with that? And I know someone had also given a really good example, which is Bethel, who said in the issue of trust, this person should work on their brand. So for example, the Safaricom CEO starts his own company. Will people go to that company? So there's a lot of responses around the brand and your vision. So maybe also you can build on that, Lillian. Thank you.
Beautiful. Okay, let us maybe use banks with the bigger brands, not the small company. Competition will always be there. I'm sure there are people who have left KCB and gone to Barclays. The people who have left Barclays and gone to Equity and the like. So why are they leaving? Maybe they've been given better remuneration. So same applies to our small businesses. Somebody will leave this place to the other place, maybe for something better. So for you as the business owner who has been left, I think you also have to find a way of having a relationship with your clients, depending on what business you're doing. Because there's some businesses that you can't delegate. Okay, a banker, maybe there'll be a teller there that I'm talking about a saloon person. As the business owner, do you know the people who come around here? Do you have that direct relationship with them? What experience do they have? Because basically, clients, whichever kind, they are looking for experience. What experience are you offering that will make them stay with you or will make them go? Because when they decide to follow these people, if you give so much, if you give them a good experience, not all will leave. So if somebody comes and they have already left and you put a shop next to me here, there's nothing much I can do. I can't call the police. Oh, somebody has come here and they have a license for that place. So mine is to, just like the other person has said, work on your brand. Make yours exceptional so that the experience we get here, people don't go away. And then have that one-on-one, even with the clients, just call them. Depending on the business, that's what I said. Do they feel like they are felt in this place? Or you just know they have to walk in here? Because today, people only go where they are listened to, where they feel heard. So when somebody decides to open a business, You're just supposed to work on your brand like that gentleman has said, or just do your best. Try and make even the customers feel valued. What do you give your customers here? Is there some rebate you give them, something that will make them come back? Because they know there's competition, yes. But if there's nothing bringing them back, every place has the same thing they're offering. They'll go anywhere else. So it is for us to give something extra. Is it the experience that they're getting from here? Is it just that personal touch? Oh, today was your birthday, Lillian. Happy birthday. You say, hey, this organization can remember my birthday. And it's good to be here. Why? Because we like being felt. We are relational beings, basically. Yes, that's what I can say.
Oh, I think that's really well put, that you offer value and your customers should be able to see that value such that it's very difficult for them to leave. Thank you, Lillian. Then we have an anonymous attendee asking around family business. So if it's a family business, advise ways to solve conflicts or disagreements in the business, especially if it's a husband and wife. For example, on ways of operations, both parties have different ideas. So other than that, how do you also handle finances as a couple that is also, that they're also business partners? And then allow me to combine that with Paul's question of how does formalization and avoiding disputes affect the succession of the business in either ways? So we have one that is a couple running the business. How do they handle that and even conflicts? And then now, how does formalization help in succession?
Okay. For the couple, those are relationships again. And something about couples, what works in that house will not work in this house. So they have to find their own way of working together. And then if it is not working, then they should just be legal. They should know that this is what is legally accepted. Because what works for me may not work for Faith, may not work for someone else, may not work for Njeri. So I cannot say, go and use mine, copy paste mine. No. As a family, how did you start? What were your goals? What were you working towards? What was your vision? What are you aligned to? Because it's the goals that will help you move. So if at some point in time you have missed our goal, then I'm sure the problems will start coming. Because when we started, where were we going to? What did we want to achieve? So now that the problems are here, before they get there, what can we do before it's too late? So they have to search themselves as that couple, because what works in that couple's house may not work for Faith's place and mine. And if it comes to a dead end, then they should just go legal, or even, yeah, I think that's just the best. Going legal will be the just thing if they cannot manage it themselves because they started it alone. Then the legal structures, the other person has asked, how does it help the company? When you have legal structures, okay, maybe a limited company, what are the kind of shares that are there? When it is a limited company, it's different from when it is just a sole proprietor, even as a family business. So in this, a limited legal liability company has structures such that there are rules that govern it. What are the shares? How are the shares apportioned? What are the different dividends? At what point are the dividends given out? So it is the legality of the company that now will define how if we bring the family thing, how whatever is there is being apportioned, because it's legal and it has structures. It's easy. It is not something that we are just agreeing on between the two of us. The legal structure just dictates this is how it is, this is how the structure of this thing is, and this is how it is apportioned. Thank you. I hope I answered that.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Lillian. I think we've come to the time where we can take a break. But before that, I know I've seen Grace has raised her hand and Pauline, so I'll allow you to talk. So Grace, you can go ahead. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Grace Nzo. I run a company, Newsline Media Limited, for 15 years. Just to share and add on to what Lillian has said, I run my business with my husband. In fact, I got married to my husband because we started running a business. I know that's strange, but that's how it is. And the first thing, like Lillian has said, yes, the structure is very important. How you register, that's important. The second thing is the fact that when you are working as a couple, it's very important to identify the strengths of each one of you. We run a communications company. I am the talker, as you will pick from this conversation. I am the happy one. My husband is a technical one. So what we do is he does the technical work. I do the talking. I manage, all this. So we've divided the activities. And I have found that in the 15 years that we've been married and running a business together, we have never thought about things like money, for example, because we're on the same page. And the both of us are driven by the same goal to make money and not be broke. That's the first thing I wanted to just, add to that conversation. The other thing is about employees, because this has come up a lot. In the 15 years that we have run our business has gone down almost twice, the latest being in 2022. And the lessons, the 8 tips, I'm the one who shared them, were very important. But I just wanted to clarify there and say that when your business goes down, it's you who remains. And the most important thing that I have found is you must own your own things. There are those things that make your business succeed rather. For instance, in our line of business of live streaming and content development, equipment, cameras, such kinds of things are very, very important. So we own those things. The other thing that I have found, and it was now I can say it was a big fallacy when we were starting the business, although that was a long time ago, is having an office in a strategic point. Then it seemed like a good thing. But now I think we have flexibility depending on the business that you're running, be able to offer the service, to be able to, to have an office anywhere as long as you can offer the service. So consider ways of making sure that, you remain afloat and you reduce your expenses as much as possible. Finally, when you're running your business and things go down or go wrong, don't close the business. I have seen that happen in our sector. Many people close their business after 2020 in live streaming, video production, and all that. It hurt their business because now business is coming back and they're not there. So obviously the people that stayed in business are the ones that are now getting the business. Now I'm talking about my business. So we are now recovering. I'm not saying we are recovered. We are recovering now. But one of the reasons we are recovering is because we stayed afloat. So when things are wrong, there's a rough patch and everything, don't close your business. Strip down to bare minimum, bare bones completely. Stay afloat. That's all you need. When in just a short while, the funny thing is that it doesn't last long. I've done this twice. It does not last long. It's painful, it's hard, but you will always overcome. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and God bless you, and God bless our businesses.
Thank you. Thank you, Grace. Quite inspiring.
Yeah, wow. Thank you, Grace. And I think it's really just part of succession, and just keep going. And I think what you've done, yes, and Grace, what you've done is just given us the, we want this to be an SME community where we can connect. And thank you so much for sharing your lessons in your journey, and even what succession looks like for you and partnership. So thank you very much, Grace. Then we also have Pauline. Pauline, you had raised your hand. You can go ahead. Okay, I think Pauline has maybe an issue with sound. So Lilian, I think if you can allow, we can maybe go for a 10-minute break and continue when we come back with this interactive Q&A session. I think it's really good just to what we're
Yes,
doing.
yeah.
Yes, yeah, to get into it.
Beautiful.
And I remember, I think Rose had requested to share her ritual from last week. So Rose, after the break, we can begin with your rituals based off of the lesson from last week. So allow us to just go on a 10-minute break. We will be back at 12:25.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome back as we continue with part 2 of the training today on succession planning and building your business and setting it up for success. So thank you so much for the engagement so far. I think we've learned so much from Lilian and also from one another, both on chat and even more recently it's Grace, who has shared her story and her lessons. So thank you so much. Let's keep the engagement. Let's keep learning from each other. So I know Pauline's hand was up. I don't know if you're able to speak, and I'll also call on Rose. I don't know if you're still in the chat. I think she might have stepped out. So we can continue with the questions. But as always, if you want to speak, just raise your hand. You'll be able to get to your question. Right. Then we can have an anonymous attendee who's armed. As a leader, does putting pressure on your team work or by working alongside them, can that positively motivate them to attain growth in a business? So how do you handle motivation and applying pressure? So I think this touches on the leadership style that can also flow into succession. So yeah, Lilian, I think we can begin with that one.
It's afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We're talking about the leadership styles. There's nothing in white and black. You know your staff. What works for them would not work for my staff. And your personality and my personality would be different. So it is for you to gauge the people you're working with, the people you're staying with. Get to their level. What makes them happy? You could act, but get to know them. Because by knowing them, then you will know what works for them. If you know whaling does not work for them, of course whaling it's rough. Doesn't work for anybody, but find a way with them. Or get to a staff who is close with them. This is a relationship you're building, remember? So you must find a way of building this relationship, nurturing it, so that at least you have people around you by your side who can either give you information or help you grow it. So I will not say have them walk around, I will not advise that you walk beside them, no. What works? What makes them tick? Once in a while, maybe if you buy mandazis, depending on how big the organization is, do you see, does it motivate them? Once in a while, when you give them offs, does that make them work? Once in a while, when you buy lunch, share with them, take them to a team building, even if it's to Uhuru Park, it is for you to find what works for you. So you have to, even if it's not you directly, find somebody who is close to them. How do you get them? How do you get them so that they're part of your team? Because half the time, people come for salaries. They're not part of this vision. Would they see where you're going to? Would they embrace the vision you have for this organization? And then now when you add on to those others, I'm sure you'll find a way of working together, because it is about building relationships. Building relationships and nurturing other leaders. Don't make them feel like you're not being heard. Everything comes from me up and what are they saying? Can we think of this? Would this work? Has it worked elsewhere? Let's give it a once or next time, also find a way of, even when you don't agree with them, you don't just say, put them off completely. No, find a way of making them feel heard, much as they're not using their suggestion now, but you've had them. Next time, you see, you have made them feel heard. So it's not having them, I would not agree with walking beside them, no, but just make them feel heard. Excuse me. Then of course the rest will fall into place. You will find some people who will walk towards you. You'll find people, give them those maybe lunch hours, those incentives, those recognitions. Who doesn't want to be recognized? Such things will help. Thank you. And then there's something also that somebody had asked earlier. I think I talked about it, but I still want to bring it back. When they were talking about you've trained your staff. At that point of training, what kind of training? There are some people who take even their staff, like I remember when you're in the bank, you would be trained, taken, maybe they pay for you. There is a clause. There's
Oh, I think we've lost Lillian, connection issue. So all right, she's back. I don't know, Lillian, if you can hear us.
yeah, I'm okay, yeah.
Okay, great. Welcome
I'm
back.
saying, even for you as the employer, can you have your structures and your contracts such that you don't leave those places for loopholes? Keep them until maybe that, it's a contract for maybe you have to work for me for this period. And then even if now they want to leave, you don't feel like you're sold out. You get structures, paperwork, all those things must be on point. Thank you.
Thank you, Lillian. So the next question will be from Emmanuel, who says, how do you separate your personal identity from the business you've built, especially when it's something you're very passionate about? And just tying this back to succession, because if this is something you want to build that will last and outlast you, how do you separate? And then allow me to also now mention another question. This is now from the point of view of someone I'd assume would maybe be your successor, who's asking, how do you deal with a situation where your employer expects you to move mountains with not much support from them for you to do so, but they claim to want to see results every time? So I'm assuming this may be in this context, is someone who you've identified, probably this will be your successor, but any of your employees, and the expectations are very high with little support. How would you advise in that situation for both the employee as well as the employer? Thank you.
Okay, what would I say about the unexpected targets? I think just do your best, work within what maybe if I call it the job description, so that somebody does not feel insubordinated or somebody does not feel like you're not working, but use the rules. Right? For example, if I say the job description, are you doing it the way it is supposed to be? So the rest, if the targets are crazy, then now you will say, I did this, I was able to achieve this. So I'm sure even this person you're relating with is also a human being. They will see that you have done this, you gave your all. You did up to this to achieve, you meant well. You see, you meant well. It's not that you've given up, no. You gave me up to 90, but I've managed 80. Why? Because of this and this and that. And you document so that we do not see that there's a time maybe you are malingering. That's why you did not manage to do it. And there would be a reason why this was not achieved or the other. So documentation of your progress is also very important. And that's why we also have tools like the balance scorecard. Is it showing the movement? Is it showing what has been achieved and why this has not been achieved? Because it also gives you places where there are mitigating factors why this was not achieved. So I think that is what I would advise on that. Yes, the targets could be crazy, the person is not understanding, but are you doing your very best? Are you doing the very best from where you sit? such that you can use what you have done with, you document what you have done. I managed to achieve this because of this and that. So be able to sell yourself and defend yourself at the same time. And also be humble. I mean, be somebody who make the environment conducive. It's not war. Even if the boss or the employer is very rough, but be that person who can give room for listening to each other, hearing, I want to be heard. You don't go there storming in that, like showing you're not hearing me. Find a way, find a way, find a way. Yes. Find a way, find a way, find a way. And they'll always be that way. When you look for it, you will find it. But when you think it's impossible, it will be impossible. So let's just find a way. You may not get the right, that 90. I got to 85 because of this and that. And the way you have submitted your report or whatever will make the person also understand and give you another chance. But you keep consistency. Consistency is also key. Consistency. Integrity, consistency will help you a great deal in delivering. Thank you.
Thank you, Lillian. And then now the question on separating your personal identity from the business that you have built.
What example can I give? Can I give myself? My business I built Dolian. It's my business, yes. I built it, I think, 2008. It was a sole proprietor. Then later I made it a limited company. So I don't know what image he's talking about. Is it the structure of the images in the setup?
From what I've understood, and maybe Emmanuel, if you're in the call, you can unmute and also build. But I'm imagining for a lot of business owners, their identity is the business. When you think about this person, you think about the business, and it could be a brand thing, but it could also be it's hard to separate. When even customers are thinking about this business, they don't think about the services necessarily, they think about this person. And so when that person is not in the equation, customers maybe will not feel the need to continue with the business. So how do you give your business an identity of its own that is a strong identity that can run even when you're not there, and when so that can outlast you? I think that is what Emmanuel was going for. And Emmanuel, you can correct me if I am wrong.
Okay, what I think is, or rather what I would do, is to make Dolian to empower my team. It goes back to that team leadership thing. It goes back to that team leadership thing. Are they giving what I give? Or are they giving it even better? Such that they'll still have a reason to come back, even if it's not about Lillian, but what Lillian has built. That experience that they get, even when Lillian is not there. So my team must work together, and my team must see my vision, such that even if I'm not there, they are aligned to it. So when they're aligned to it, the service we give should be above board. So whether I'm there or not there, okay, you see the business, you see Lillian, but you still see that quality of service that is above board. So the people who I have, or the team that I have, I should embrace them and make them own it, such that we are in this together, and they're even doing better than I would do. Thank you.
Thank you, Lillian. So we have Kafuko who's asking, so this is a bit of a shift into the financial bit of the business. Kafuko asked, what are the key financial indicators I should track regularly to ensure my business remains healthy and scalable?
The key financial indicators. How does he bank his how does he manage his books of accounts? That is one. Does he bank everything? Are the deposits banked and then withdrawn later? Does he pay himself? Does he have a budget that he works with at the end of each month so that he knows this, if it has paid all this and has paid me, then I'm in business. So those are some of the key indicators. The bankings, the budget. Do you do your returns? Even just for yourself, do you do just your own self-audit? All those will make you know. So even for your checklist, you have your own personal budget, the business flow. Do you document what you remove or you just withdraw because the business is yours? All those will guide you to something. Have a budget. Your deposits, your withdrawals. Do you have your books of accounts that somebody can come? You can have, maybe you're not big enough to be audited, but can you audit yourself? Can you have somebody around you audit you? Even your own kids, if you have kids, big kids like me, just have a track record. Do you do your returns? Those are also still part of budgeting and financial planning. I think that's about it.
Thank you, Lilian. And I think we're winding up, so I'll encourage any other questions to be raised. You can raise your hand. And what we've done is we've really tried to join questions. So you'll find some of the questions that maybe weren't directly answered. They were answered indirectly through the questions that Lilian has addressed. So we have an anonymous attendee saying, what would you do if one of your top employees has bad financial decisions and is always in debt, even when you have provided financial literacy classes, and due to the debts, the employee has ended up borrowing from other employees, causing conflict? And I see Duncan has also shared a similar question. How do you support employees in managing their personal finances and building long-term financial resilience? Duncan, I see your hand is up, so I don't know if you want to build on that question. So I'll allow you to speak. Maybe you can unmute. Duncan. Yeah, you can go ahead. Please check on your sound. We can see you're unmuted, but I think there might be a challenge with your sound. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, so just a question around financial literacy and helping your employees manage their finances, because I think financial problems will reflect in the work and the quality of work. So again, that's still I believe part of succession, how your employees can handle their finances better. Duncan, you're able now?
Yes.
Okay, great.
It's a question on communication and transparency on staff. How transparent are we with the employees about our remuneration philosophy, pay scale, performance metric? What is the impact of this on trust and engagement? That's the question on top of what I had written. Thank you.
Thank you, Duncan. So I think we can combine the two on financial literacy, but also now how transparent should business owners be? So Lilian, you can go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. On personal discipline on the finances, I think every organization should find a way of either training or letting the employees know that they should live within their means. It is difficult, even in big organizations, however much people earn. But the organization should find a way of just making them know that we expect this from you. Because without this, you will not be able to serve. You will not be able to deliver. One, you will have maybe cases with Shylocks, and that one is not part of what is agreed with in our rules of engagement. You will have lateness or absenteeism. That is also not a part of our rules. So every particular organization should find a way of making the customers know what is expected of, what the staff know what is expected of them. Because when I get into this employment and I know maybe I'm getting 50,000, so it is for me to find a way of living within this 50,000. There should be trainings, there should be maybe even emails or booklets on tips of financial management, something like that. Once in a while, you have to have a trainer come, engage them on financial management so that they know what is expected of them and they know the repercussions. And it's from the company. You get, it's not just what is expected. This is what the company expects. This is how we deal with this. This is how we deal with this is gross misconduct. This is gross misconduct. Yes, this is gross misconduct if you go above this or you go below this. So they should know what is expected from them. And the one, what did Duncan ask? The performance metric or?
Yeah, so transparency when it comes to like the remuneration scale, so how transparent should business owners be to their employees? Yeah, and I think even growth, yeah, all of that.
You see, all organizations have their own, all institutions have their own structures, such that maybe for instance, when you're within this job group A, this is what is expected of you. This is what you expect to earn. When you're in this job group B, this is what you expect to earn. So it goes back to the particular organization. Are you within this? You got into this role for this job. What does this job pay? You get. So if you're a salesperson, this is what you get what you come into business, into the organization, knowing that this is what this is what the company pays. Although when you go above this is the incentive that is there. So we go back to each organization. What works for you may not work for me. So it's the way I've structured my business. I hope that makes sense.
Thank you.
That's why the government also have the job groups. You have job group this, job group this. So it depends.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Lillian. I think I'll allow David. David, I see your hand is up. You can go ahead and speak. Okay. Yes, David, I think we can't hear you. Okay, that's fine. So I'd want us to wind up. I do realize there's a number of questions on B2B products and services. So I have just shared our customer service number on the chat, and you'll be able to get the exact assistance that you need, so that today we can focus more on the financial literacy bit, but we will be able to assist you through that number. Naomi, let me just allow you as we wind up. Naomi, you can go ahead.
Me.
Yes, Naomi, you have a question?
You can get me? Okay,
yes, now we can.
Mine is not a question. I was just requesting, please, you send me the recording on my email because I came a bit late. I can see I missed a lot of things. And since day one, I've not been missing. So I didn't want to miss out this one. So kindly, if you can send me the recording on my email. I came a bit late. I was held up.
No worries. So what happens is Zoom will automatically send the recording and the presentation from today. So you will receive an email from this address that you've joined with today. So look out for that. So thank you, Naomi, for that. So Lillian, maybe we can just have closing remarks from you as we conclude on, building your legacy and future-proofing your business for generations. We've covered quite a bit on the financial side, on building relationships, on employees and family, and how to tackle all these different dynamics. So thank you so much for covering all these bits really well and answering and responding to the questions. So what would your closing remarks, if there's one thing that you'd want our participants to walk away with today, what would that be? Thank you.
Okay, what I would say is let us apply what we've learned. Let us draft our own legacy action plan. Let's one thing there. Okay, it's not one thing. What's the one thing that you'd do to strengthen your sustainability? So each of us should ask ourselves that. How will we start by developing future leaders? And that what legal or financial action will you take? That is for all the leaders that are in the house. And then I have a slide there. We have some free succession planning sessions. There's a WhatsApp number there. You can reach us so that we continue with this conversation.
Thank you, Lillian, and maybe we could give Lillian a digital round of applause for an excellent session. I think you can agree it's been very interactive, very practical, and we all have pointers that if you're very intentional, you can now embed into your business so that it's not where you left. A special thank you to Grace, who also was able to give us insights from her business. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for your participation, the engagement, and creating a community. And I think that's what this space is all about, that we add value to one another because you have something that we don't. And so once we share, we're able to build each other up. So thank you very much. Thank you also to Lillian and Faith, who have been our sign language interpreters today. We will meet here next week. Same time, same place, where we'll be covering module 4, an exciting one, which will be on AI. So applied AI, leveraging artificial intelligence for business efficiency. Please tell a friend, and let's build this community. So yes, Jensen, we agree. Let us create this community where we can build each other up and build our businesses up. So thank you so much. Allow us to end here and have a good day. Let's meet same time, same place. Thank you and goodbye. And just allow me to mention there's a survey that will pop up once you leave, once the webinar ends. Please take your time to fill in the survey. Would appreciate to gain insights from you, how we can improve, things to look out for, how we can build this community. Just take a few minutes of your time and fill in the survey so that we can keep improving this program. So once again, thank you and have a good day.